here we are once again for Shut Up and Listen,
Small Town Stories
with Sarah
and Renee.
And we have a special guest on our couch today. And with us we have Andy Sprang, who just so happens to be the superintendent of Fostoria City School. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you today.
We're excited for you to be with us on the couch.
Okay.
You seemed a little apprehensive when you walked in, not as nervous as the mayor, which we kind of talked
Perfect.
about, but this should be fairly
It's
painless.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's as fun as you make it.
All
Yes.
right.
So
All right.
let's start off with a softball kind of question. Tell us about yourself and your history with the district.
Yeah, this is the start of year 22 in the district. Was a junior senior high school teacher for 6 years. Taught social studies, all aspects of that. Did 3 years as middle school assistant principal, and then 3 years as principal of our intermediate building, which would have been 3-6 at the time, with that last half year starting as superintendent in 2013. So it'll be 10 years in January as superintendent. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that time has gone quickly.
It has gone very quickly.
Yes. And the brown in my hair has gone quickly too. So.
It's made you distinguished.
Right,
So,
yeah.
prior to coming to Fostoria, were you in another district? Where are you
No,
from
this-
originally?
Yeah, I'm from Kenton, Ohio. Grew up there. Went to the University of Findlay. Graduated there in 2000. And I came here. I worked at Best Buy Distribution Center for a year.
Mhm.
And because I needed something a little bit more consistent in pay and didn't want to just rely on subbing. And I've been here my entire career.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
I did not realize that.
So you've been superintendent for 10 years, which I'm sure is a very rewarding job. Of the different roles that you've had,
whoa.
which has been, I'm not going to ask you which has been your favorite, but which has been the most impactful for you?
Wow, they've all had different levels of impact. Obviously when you're working with kids each and every day, that's why you became an educator, is to make a difference with kids. So the time in the classroom was some of my favorite experiences. And I would travel with groups of kids. With Carol LaForge, we would travel over spring breaks and things like that, and just a great way to get to know kids outside of class. My time as middle school assistant principal, that's just such an interesting age group that
That's a nice way to put
It
it.
is a nice way to put it. You can say they can be very dramatic.
they're experiencing changes, and it's just, you're right there with
Yeah.
them, and it was a great opportunity there. And then I'd never really worked with younger kids, so that was kind of interesting to do the intermediate building. And then just over the last 10 years, I think it's a whirlwind every day. You don't know who's going to show up on your door, who's going to be on the other end of a phone, what situation, you just don't know. And it's kind of the risk reward piece of things, because you can't always plan, and sometimes your best laid plan gets blown up within the first 15 minutes. But it's also kind of the excitement, because you can't ever say that you're bored. So I don't know that I could say most impactful. I think it's just been a journey.
Mhm.
And
What's your favorite thing about your job and your least favorite thing about your job?
that's my favorite thing about my job is graduation day. There's nothing better than I see kids in good situations. I see kids that have struggled. I see kids that have made poor choices, but I see them all on graduation day. And the junior senior high school came to us a few years ago and talked about them getting to pick the kids get to pick who gives them their diploma.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be probably the most impactful thing, honestly, because when you get to see just that connection that the kids have with that staff member that they have chosen, the hugs, the tears, the the words that you get to hear that you don't, that aren't necessarily picked up on a hot mic and things like that. It's awesome. So I think that's probably the thing I love the most. And you can see that these kids have overcome challenges. Kids are growing up in a world that is way different than what I would have experienced, what you all would have experienced. Just different variables, the impact of social media, the impact of just other societal issues, unfortunately, drugs, mental health, abuse, whatever. But you see the kids that have overcome those things, or are dealing and are being extremely successful. So that's definitely the highlight. I think the downside of it is, I'll just be honest, the downside's even pretty easy too, and I think that's just social media and the impact that it has had. Because there's so many times that the district is put out there on a social media platform, and we're not going to engage in that. And
you can't.
It's no good is going to come out of it, but people take that as the end all be all, and I think we have to. That can be very defeating. And unfortunately, as we see in so many things in society, people make things personal, and it's you have to get beyond that. And so I would say that's probably the most defeating part of the work.
And there's a lot of situations that the school is helping to deal with that you can't come out and discuss and share details with. And I think sometimes people miss that when maybe the district doesn't come out and can't really share what a situation is. It's because you can't, because of privacy and the sensitive nature of what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and oftentimes we have to have conversations with families, and we're like, look, if it was your child that was on this end, you wouldn't want us to air all this out publicly. I think it's misconstrued. People think that we can just remove kids permanently. There's very few things that we can do that for. So eventually they come back. We have to look at, there's just so many variables we have to look at. We have to look at what's going to put them in the best situation to be successful. Because if we, say we have a situation where we have to remove somebody for an extended period of time, if they don't have an opportunity for success when they come back, likelihood of repeating is going to skyrocket. I think we have to fight that fight for the kids. Kids are supposed to make mistakes. They learn from them, hopefully. But we have to be there. This is the time. They're learning, they're growing. We talk as a staff, 45 years old, I don't have everything figured out at 45 years old. So how do we expect a 12 or 13 or even a 7 or 8 year old to have everything figured out? But they're sure seeing a lot of stuff in society, in music, in TV shows, movies, their own homes, communities, whatever. You see a ton, and it's just changed. So we have to be responsive to that and try to embrace our kids and help them through.
So I guess and I'm not going to limit you to one, but what are 3 to 5 things that you wish the community knew about the district that you don't think the general public knows or understands?
I think number one has to be just how much our staff cares about our kids. While people might not always agree on a path or a process or something like that, which is natural, you cannot ever second guess how much we care about kids and what we want to see out of our kids. So I would say that's number one. Number 2, I think we're far better than the experts think. And we'll tie that to whether it's legislature, whether it's local report card, whether it's the power of the thumbs on social media. We run a marathon with our kids for 13 years, K-12, and some of them are from 3 years old. They're in our preschool all the way through. It is a marathon. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and there's challenges. They're kids, they're humans. So I think that's, we're far better than that. No 1 day or 2 days on a test is a true, it's a piece of it, and we're not going to shy away from that. We don't shy away from that, but it's a piece of what the experience is. So that'd be number 2. I think number 3, wow, I had the next one there, and now it's gone. I would just say that we care about what they feel too, as the community. And I think we want to put out there the best opportunity. I think we're always looking for new ways, new partnerships. Some of our partnerships here with the Learning Center, with Terra State, with Vanguard Sentinel, United Way, the service clubs, Rotary Kiwanis. We're always willing. I think what we've done with the Y over the last few years, I think we're much more ingrained in our community than what people look at us. Oh, you're out there on the edge of town. You don't really know what's going on no, we're connected to these groups. So I think that is probably another positive that we need to get out more. And I think that's, I think Courtney, our new HRPR director, is working and doing an excellent job in a few short months of working to do that. And so I would say those are probably some of the key things.
Because the service clubs, Rotary and Kiwanis specifically, meet at the school building.
United Way does
they meet there. And then the YMCA is helping with after school programming. You have a partnership there, correct?
Yeah, they do their before and after care, their own programming. They do it there, which is actually been very helpful for them for space issues, but it's been helpful for us for transportation issues with driver shortages and things like that. It helps when kids are enrolled in those programs because they're just at the building and then they go. And they do a teen drop-in center, which is great. Opportunities for kids to have someplace to go, whether it's work on homework, whether it's just to hang out for a little bit. That's a great opportunity there as well. So I think our partnership with the Y has really blossomed. We use the Y for our swim team, those types of things. So it's just those, that's just Tim's been great to work with over there, and I'm looking forward to continuing that as they transition.
And then, this is a great tee up having Renee and you on the couch to talk about the new partnership with the Learning Center. Some exciting things happening there.
Yes, so excited for this.
It is going to be very exciting.
We're excited in the Learning Center when we're here, but why don't you guys want to kind of give a high level what that partnership looks like?
Yeah, we were blessed in the district to get a rather sizable donation from Dr. Padanilum and his family in honor of their son, and we've put that into our special needs programming, and we're going to be able to offer like a life skills laboratory kind of, I call it a lab, but really just a life skills experience for some of our special needs students where they can they can come over to Learning Center, they can work on home skills, they can work on assembly skills, they can travel out to over to Kroger and do some grocery shopping and those types of things, and just really work on developing their life skills. And I think it's kind of one of those things that it's kind of interesting to watch it come full circle, because a few years ago we had our fire and we got displaced, and the Ashley Reinhardt, the teacher that's involved with this, she was based out of St. Wendelin School at that point for when we got relocated, and she had like kitchens and things like that. And in the new building, she's got a little bit of that, but not to the extent that we're going to be able to do with really repurposing some space over here at the Learning Center. And she really wanted to be able to do these things, and it's kind of nice to be able to come full circle. And what a great way to help prepare that group of students to graduate, go out, be productive, be prepared for employment, be prepared for life on their own, and those types of things. So I'm super excited about that. And then they're here at the same time that our CCP students are coming over, our Terra partnership. And I think that's, I would say that's something that I'm really proud of, is that we we bought into the concept of this is it's the Fostoria Learning Center, and everybody needs to play a role in it.
And I would take that one step further, because I think people don't understand the levels of partnerships that we have. And I'm just going to speak here at the Learning Center with the district. I mean, we are now going to be launching a full-fledged Make It Day with every 5th grader at Fostoria City Schools that will come in here and have hands-on activities with 8 local companies. The educator boot camp that we had in August, we were the only municipality in the state of Ohio that did their own boot camp, and we did it with Fostoria City Schools and your teachers. And the meetings and the things that have come from just that boot camp have been phenomenal.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think there are still people in the community that view the district as an island unto itself because, your education. But these kids, whether they're in preschool, whether they're juniors or seniors, they are our future. And we have to be engaging with them on all different levels, because let's face it, they're going to be the ones working when we're in retirement homes, and we're going to be looking to them to take care of us and support us in various ways. So they need our support now. And I think what we're doing as a community, as a district, as various organizations, people should be proud.
I agree.
Now I'm going to flip this back around to you, Andy.
All right.
Back to you.
Yeah.
So you've been superintendent for 10 years. What is something that has been accomplished in that 10 years that you are the most proud of? You can give us 1 or 2 things.
All right. I want to leave the easy one off the list.
Oh, take the layup. Take it, because you can get more than one.
All right. The easy one is our facilities.
Which is beautiful.
I think, being able to provide modern facilities for our students and our staff and our community has been an amazing experience. And we still continue to do improvements and things like that. So that's the easy one. That's the visual one. I think over 10 years, when I first took over, we didn't have a process in the district for updating our materials and curriculum and stuff for our classrooms, and we have a cycle. We're well into our second round of that cycle now, where we just implemented a new math curriculum this year. So every 5 years we're cycling through keeping our materials current. I think that's huge. We embraced technology before COVID, and it started a 1-to-1 initiative. We were 512 before COVID. We're now, you could really say that there's access, if not an individual device, for every student in our district, technology-wise. And I think that's, knocking down barriers. We worked with T-Mobile on a hotspot grant during COVID. So connectivity should not be an issue. So providing those opportunities, I think we've seen an uptick in our enrollment again at our career tech centers. So that's a positive. And that's kind of one of those interesting things in education. When I started here 22 years ago, we still had some of the tech prep and those type courses in our building. Then it was push everything to Vanguard and Sentinel or your other career techs around the state, and we were to focus on college prep inside our building. So we do all of that, and now that pendulum's swinging back in the other direction. So being able to have those partnerships is a great thing. Our partnership with Terra for our CCP, one of the barriers that we had to tear down was the belief that our kids couldn't go to college. CCP is a great way for our students to get that exposure. Is college for them? Are they earning some college credits before they go out and graduate, where the district's picking up that cost for them, and that opens up doors for kids. And those would be some of the highlights, I would say.
Great. So, I don't know if you've listened to any of our episodes in the past, but I'm
Here
going to say
comes
based
the
on
closer.
Right?
look on
Yeah.
your face
He's
right
like,
now.
This is gonna be good.
Oh jeez.
So I always like to end with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I have 5 questions for you.
Okay.
I'm going to ask them, and you just give me your first response.
All
First thing
right.
that comes to mind.
All right.
No pausing.
All right. Your favorite subject in school.
Social studies.
Favorite food.
Chicken wings.
Favorite sport.
Baseball.
Favorite color.
Orange.
Favorite
Oh.
thing about Fostoria.
Favorite thing about Fostoria is simple, that this is a community that cares about each other and comes together whenever there's a need.
I love that
That
response.
was good.
Well, Andy, we can't thank you enough for being with us on the couch today. I know you probably don't hear it very often, but I say it on behalf of Sarah and myself, and hopefully all of our listeners. Thank you for what you do.
We do appreciate it.
It is
Thank
very
you
much
all.
appreciated.
Thank
It
you
is
for
a
the
hard job.
partnerships and supports.
It does not go unnoticed. So with that, we will close this episode of Shut Up and Listen
Small town stories.
with Sarah.
And Renee.